Did you know the biggest occupational risk in the world is not working for the military and it's not working as a police officer? It's actually driving for your company, and then it's people working at height, installing feeder cables, working on construction sites, and our dedicated teams of telecoms riggers which install our network so that we have a wonderful communication system. Before we start this video, I want to thank Huawei Technologies for sponsoring this video. The purpose of this video is to give short bursts of information to upskill local and international contractors on work at height and rigging requirements. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Barry Lottering and I've been working in this industry for over a decade. Today we will discuss full arrest work and we can deep dive into this topic for days, but I'm doing my best to give you some of the most valuable information in the shortest possible time. So what is fall arrest? Fall arrest is a form of fall protection which involves the safe stopping of a person already falling. Ideally, we would always like to prevent a person from falling using some sort of restraint system such as guardrails or lifeline systems to prevent a person from falling over or from a platform. Did you know that all employers have a duty of care to protect their workers from harm? And for this reason, your employer must provide you with the correct protective equipment and also relevant training. You also have the right to refuse work if you feel the access method is unsafe to perform your work safely. Typically in the telecommunications industry, we would come across fall arrest work more often than rope access and work restraint combined. The majority of work happens on towers where technicians will need to ascend towers and traverse the towers to access the outside of the structures where antennas will be mounted. When preparing to conduct fall arrest work, a minimum range of work at height equipment will be needed to perform their work effectively. Before climbing, there are 4 elements to consider. You need to identify what equipment is needed, what is the certification requirements for the equipment, the limitations of the equipment, and when was it last inspected. A basic equipment list will be a 4-point harness, which is certified to EN 361 and 358, a work at height helmet certified to EN 12492 and not EN 1397, a Y lanyard certified to EN 355, and a work positioning lanyard certified to EN 358. You should consider where your lanyards are connected. There are 2 different classifications for anchoring, planned and self-identified anchor points. Planned anchor points are usually designed by engineers and certified to EN 795 specifications. Self-identified anchor points are usually part of the superstructure of the tower or building and must be of sufficient strength to support the weight of a person falling. Where possible, ensure that you always connect to the highest possible anchor point, as this will reduce your falling distance, reducing the risk of injury. There are strict do's and don'ts when connecting to structures. Here are some of the don'ts. Do not connect to handrails, specifically those on monopole structures. Do not connect to feeder trays. Do not connect to ladder cages, and do not connect to antenna brackets. You might have noticed that most towers are equipped with gravity fall arrest lifeline systems. These systems are there to improve climber efficiency as well as climber safety, as this significantly reduces the falling distance of a climber. All lifeline systems must be certified and inspected as safe for use and fit for purpose. Each climber are responsible to verify if the system are signed off as safe for use before climbing. This can be found next to the lifeline on the place card provided. Any uncertified lifelines must be reported to Huawei, where Huawei will then notify the tower owner of the non-compliant lifeline systems. It is critical to remember that there are extreme forces imposed on work at height equipment, on the anchor points and the lifelines, and it's much greater than you might expect, and therefore proper equipment care is needed. Equipment must be well maintained, as its primary function are there to protect you from injury or death in the event of a fall. Having damaged equipment may prevent the equipment from doing what it is designed to do. Work at height equipment are also expensive and must be maintained to increase its lifespan to reduce the unnecessary cost to your organization. So how do you look after and maintain equipment? You can start with employing a person solely responsible for the management and maintenance of your equipment. This person must be trained and all equipment must be inspected every 6 months according to ISO 22846 requirements. Equipment must then be stored in a cool and dry environment to prevent unnecessary mildew or rust. This will also protect the equipment from infestations, chemicals and theft. Having one person responsible will also assist with record keeping and can identify the person in your team not taking responsibility for equipment allocated to them. For any person doing fall arrest work, a person must be trained in accordance with local and international regulations or best practices. If you are working within the borders of South Africa, a person must be trained against Unit Standard 22995 and where applicable, the IWH professional body. Unit Standard 22995 are registered with the services CETA. In the telecommunications industry, a person must be certified against RF awareness training, as this exposure to RF radiation is a risk identified by Huawei Technologies. Gravity training will ensure that RF awareness training are included free of charge inside of your fall arrest and rescue training. Team compositions are of utmost importance, and there are factors to consider to mitigate and control risks associated to working on towers or roofs. Relevant standards in the telecommunications industry require teams no smaller than 2 persons, even if it's small tasks such as periodic inspections on towers. Think about it this way. When you put on a harness, you automatically assume or expect that there is a possibility of falling. Should you expect to fall, you must expect to be rescued. Therefore, you must always have a partner ready and able to perform a rescue in the shortest possible time. Reducing the rescue time are vital as a fallen person may be exposed to suspension trauma. This form of trauma can cause a person to be severely injured or even cause death. Some bad habits on site does exist. When unprepared teams start using their dedicated rescue kits as lifting kits. Remember, using your rescue kits for activities puts the rest of your team at risk. Looking into the future, more emphasis will be placed on competent supervisors. Supervisors' responsibilities will increase to ensure proper health and safety procedures are implemented on site. We have a specific video where we will further discuss the requirements outlined for supervisors. Look, work is important, but essentially you are responsible for your own safety. Before you do something, know that you have a family at home and that other people depend on you for your support and friendship.